Is it just a coincidence that the Great American Eclipse of 2024 will enter the U.S. at Eagle Pass, Texas? Michael Snyder reports. The Great American Eclipse of 2024 is just a little bit more than 2 months away, and amazingly, the very first city that the path of the eclipse crosses over when it enters the U.S. is Eagle Pass, Texas. There are more than 19,000 incorporated cities, towns, and villages in the United States, and out of all of them, Eagle Pass is the very first that the eclipse will touch. It's, of course, at the U.S.-Mexico border. On April 8th, 2024, the entire world will be watching as the Great American Eclipse travels across America. Prior to this historic event, the last total solar eclipse visible from the U.S. was the Great American Eclipse of 2017, and there will not be another total solar eclipse visible from our country until the year 2044. So this is a really big deal. During the Great American Eclipse of 2017, approximately 216 million Americans were watching either in person or online. On April 8th, 2024, an eclipse will cross the continental United States from Texas to Maine. It has been 7 years since the Great American Eclipse of 2017, when the moon cast a shadow on Earth that raced from Oregon to South Carolina, watched by around 216 million Americans in person or online. This time around, that number is expected to be even higher. We're being told that Texas will likely be the best state for viewing the Great American Eclipse of 2024 in person, and the entire Dallas metropolitan area just happens to fall directly within the path of totality. Texas boasts the best weather forecast along the path in April and has an excellent highway system and abundant accommodations in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, some cities with long duration of totality including Eagle Pass, Uvalde, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Llano, Lampasas, Killen, Waco, Sulphur Springs, and other southeastern suburbs of Dallas. A remarkable fact is that the entire metropolitan area of Dallas and Fort Worth, a megalopolis of 7 million people, is entirely inside the path of totality. In fact, 12 million people in Texas reside within the path of totality, by far the largest of any state in the United States. According to the GreatAmericanEclipse.com, the first city in Texas that the eclipse will reach will be Eagle Pass. A partial eclipse begins in Eagle Pass at 12:10 CDT, and a total eclipse begins at 1:27 CDT. Considering everything that has been happening in Eagle Pass in recent months, do you think that it's just a coincidence that the eclipse crosses over this city first? After the path of the Great American Eclipse of 2024 leaves Texas, prime viewing will also be available in these states: Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire. You'll also be able to view the total eclipse in some parts of Tennessee and Michigan. And when you put the path of the Great American Eclipse of 2024 on a map with the path of the Great American Eclipse of 2017, a giant X is formed. As I've discussed previously, this has happened before. If you put the path of the solar eclipse that occurred on June 16, 1806 on a map with the path of the solar eclipse that occurred on September 17, 1811, you will see a giant X over the New Madrid fault zone. Just 3 months after the solar eclipse of September 17, 1811, a series of catastrophic earthquakes began to erupt along the New Madrid fault. So now 2 solar eclipses are forming another giant X over the New Madrid fault zone. What will happen this time around? As I've repeatedly explained to my readers, if you add the Ring of Fire eclipse that happened October 14, 2023, to the map with a giant X on it, you get a Paleo-Hebrew Aleph. So many people are talking about this remarkable phenomenon. For example, the following comes from an excellent article by Kelly Ferrari Mills. Because this next eclipse begins its path down in the southwest and makes a swath up through New England, some say it will form an X across America, combined with the eclipse of 2017. But since there was another solar eclipse that traversed our nation in October 2023, it's fascinating to see that these three eclipses across America form the Hebrew letter Aleph. If you think that everything that I've shared with you in this article is simply a result of completely random coincidences, you're stretching your credibility to the breaking point. We've reached one of the most pivotal moments in our entire history, and now something truly extraordinary is taking place in the skies above America. If you haven't been paying attention, you need to wake up, because some really crazy things are going to start happening. Of course, the truth is that crazy things are already starting to happen all over the globe. For example, Anchorage has already gotten more than 100 inches of snow this winter. Alaska is on track to break snowfall records after Anchorage was blanketed with more than 100 inches of snow. That's over 3 feet, of course. The earliest, 3 feet? Yes, the earliest accumulation ever of that amount, collapsing roofs and closing schools. That's about 10 feet. What am I saying? The city, which was hit with almost 16 inches of snow over the weekend, has now had more than 8.5 feet this winter, the second year to break the 100-inch mark. If the trend continues, Anchorage would break its all-time record of 134.5 inches recorded in the winter of 2011. I couldn't even imagine dealing with that much snow. It's being reported that the weight of the snow on some roofs has reached more than 30 pounds per square foot. The snow's weight reached more than 30 pounds per square foot, meaning a 1,500 square foot roof would be supporting the weight of 8 full-size light-duty pickup trucks, according to the notice, which of course would cave in the roof. If they have not already done so, officials in Alaska are urging residents to clear the snow off their roofs while they still can. Officials in Anchorage are urging people to clear the snow off their roofs to prevent them from collapsing, as has happened with some city buildings. Over the weekend alone, more than 16 inches of snow fell, pushing Alaska's largest city past the 100-inch mark faster than ever before. With much of winter still ahead, Anchorage is on track to break its all-time record of 134.5 inches of snowfall. Of course, all of this snow will be forgotten by everybody living outside Alaska in a few days, because new things will be coming along to dominate the news cycle. We live at a time when crazy things are happening in rapid-fire fashion. As I discussed yesterday, there were more billion-dollar disasters in 2023 than ever before. And this year is certainly off to a dramatic start as well. And now the great American eclipse of 2024 is coming. So buckle up and hold on tight, because I have a feeling that we're in for a very wild ride. Michael Snyder reports. This is by Michael Snyder, and he says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled Chaos is now available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing. And one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my articles. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely ask and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. And any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is on the Economic Collapse blog by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.